Hey, vets and families, welcome to the Therapist Explains VA Mental Health Disability Ratings series. This is your guide to understanding how the VA decides claims for PTSD, anxiety, depression, and other mental health conditions. Listen, if you're a veteran and you're battling PTSD or depression, you know that the fight doesn't end when you hang up the uniform. So I'm approaching this series both as a veteran who's lived it, all of these, some of these concerns, and as a trauma-focused therapist who has counseled others through it, and I'm still counseling others through these mental health concerns. That means you'll get a unique perspective, a lived experience, and I'll back it with research and clinical insight so that you can navigate your claim with clarity and confidence. Listen, VA mental health ratings are based on 38 CFR 4.130, the general rating formula for mental disorders. It's how your symptoms are translated into percentages ranging from 0 to 100%. And so we'll break down each diagnosis using the DSM-5-TR. This is the same manual that therapists and the VA use to define mental health conditions. I got one right here. You'll see exactly how your symptoms align with VA criteria and how to strengthen your evidence. Every episode that I do is going to include a DSM-5-TR overview of the condition, a research highlight, a proven VA claim strategy, and then some practical steps to help you build a strong evidence-based claim. You can also download my free guide. It's the VA Mental Health Claim Self-Assessment and Decision Tree. This is linked in the description and it's pinned in a comment. This is going to help you organize your symptoms, match them to the VA rating scale, and then prepare for your C&P exam with confidence. If you or another veteran needs immediate help, please call the Veterans Crisis Line at 988 and then simply press 1. You are never alone, and you've got help in this fight for your mental health and for your well-being. I want to be along on the ride and along on the journey with you. So before we start, let me give you a quick disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes only. I don't give legal, clinical, or medical advice. Royal Rock Counseling and Consulting LLC is not affiliated with the VA, and we don't prosecute claims. We do help you understand the process and connect you to qualified professionals if necessary. If you find this content helpful, please like it, subscribe it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Your support helps this channel reach more veterans and families who need clear, trustworthy guidance and advice on mental health and VA claims and things that can help their families live well and live well. So thank you to everybody who's already subscribed and commented and shared. You're part of the community helping veterans take back their voice, their health, and their future. So without further ado, let's begin your journey toward a fully developed VA claim that's informed, confident, and empowered. These videos aren't going to be that long, but they will all help you live royally and live well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the series. Hey, vets and families, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig, and we are going to talk about the diagnostic code overview today for vascular neurocognitive disorders. Vascular neurocognitive disorders, again, are rated at the 0 to 100% rating using the general rating formula from 4.130 of 38 CFR. And the VA assesses, in this case, cognitive decline, behavioral changes, executive dysfunction, and emotional dysregulation. What are some of the DSM-5-TR diagnostic criteria for major or mild vascular neurocognitive disorder? And this is how clinicians diagnose the disorder. First, the evidence of the disorder will be resulting in decline in attention, executive function, memory, or language. And you'll see that some of these symptoms, some of these issues concerning the disorder are similar. And that's because whenever the brain or the neurocognitive functions are affected, they generally tend to come out in some of the same ways. And that's the reason why sometimes some of these symptoms can mask as other symptoms, but really be a part of a specific DSM code. So this particular diagnosis of vascular neurocognitive disorder, it shows in cognitive decline in attention, executive function, memory, or language. So it takes an experienced, seasoned clinician to be able to determine between the two. The onset is linked to cerebrovascular event like stroke, ischemia, TBI, or a hemorrhage of some sort. And then the neuroimaging evidence of vascular lesions or white matter disease. And These are vascular lesions and white matter disease in the brain, and this can only be determined or only be found by neuroimaging. Symptoms are not better explained by another mental or neurological disorder, and that's the case also with many other mental health disorders. If their symptoms can't be explained by something else that might be trying to mask as that, then that may be a case for mild or major vascular neurocognitive disorder. Here are some diagnostic features and symptom presentation of the disease. Some of the clinical features are slow processing speed and poor problem solving ability, emotional instability, irritability, or apathy. And these are things that can be seen by someone else who knows the veteran, or who can be felt directly by the veteran and communicated to a clinician or mental health professional. Executive dysfunction and poor short-term memory, personality or mood changes after the cerebrovascular event, meaning something happens with vascularity in the brain, and then they begin to speak or act in certain ways that exhibit some of these same symptoms. Increased fatigue, confusion, or impulsivity under stress. As we do in all of our other videos, we are now going to go into some research insight and tell you about some challenges veterans face improving vascular neurocognitive claims and other claims. This comes from research done by Sachdev in 2014. Key takeaways are the vascular neurocognitive disorders often overlap with TBI and PTSD, complicating VA diagnosis. Veterans may lack clear service era imaging or records linking vascular events to duty. This is evident because if you're out in the field, or you're out on the ship, or you're on mission in the military, very difficult to get any kind of neuroimaging during that time. One of the things you have to understand is that the facilities and the capabilities of medical professionals that are out at sea or out in the field is much less than when they are on shore. It's not a normal life. You're not doing things in a way that would be general, or in a way that would be helpful, or where you don't have the same kinds of resources from a medical perspective, not even from a physical medical perspective. So it's important to understand that these claims have to be looked at sort of in a vacuum and isolated from regular normal claims where there was a veteran who, while they were in the military, didn't have to go on deployment, didn't have to be in regions or during times where there were reduced medical facilities or resources. Symptoms develop gradually, often misattributed to aging or depression, and it requires strong nexus evidence linking cerebrovascular injury to service stressors or exposures. And now we move to building a strong VA claim for vascular neurocognitive disorders. And the first part of building a strong claim is that we obtain neuroimaging, which is MRIs or CT scans showing vascular lesions or white matter damage. We talked about vascular lesions and white matter damage earlier, and that they can only be seen via neuroimaging. It's important to understand that aspect, largely because you can't say you have this without the evidence to back it up. And that's with any claim we do. That's with all the videos that we have. You've got to have evidence. And in these particular cases, particularly in situations dealing with neurocognitive disorders or the brain, you've got to have that evidence. Secure neuropsychological evaluation, documenting cognitive decline. This is done over time as you go and see mental health professionals, behavioral health specialists, whether that's in or out of the military, and then gather service medical records showing head trauma, hypertension, or stroke during and after service. Request a Nexus opinion from a licensed neurologist or psychiatrist linking vascular findings to service. And of course, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of Nexus letters, but I believe if you do Nexus letters, they should be done in a way that is accurate and in a way that is specific and true to what you're going through as the veteran. Really important to do that. I don't know if you've noticed lately, but there are a lot of cases, a lot of reports about VA fraud, and you don't want to find yourself in that kind of position. So make sure if you get a Nexus opinion that it's a true and accurate opinion of what you experienced while you were in or post-military that was exacerbated by your in-service injury, illness, or event. And so part two of building a strong claim for vascular neurocognitive disorder involves submitting lay statements, and you'll find that this is very similar to some of the things that we've talked about before. Why is that the case? The reason why that is the case is because, generally speaking, you need the same type of strategy whenever you're building evidence for a VA claim. There may be some nuances depending on the condition that you're experiencing or the condition that you experienced during the military that you are now experiencing current symptomology for post-military, but the strategy is essentially the same. So all of these things are things that you have to be aware of and make sure that you understand how to submit these VA claims. So this is part number 2, and that is submit lay statements from family or coworkers about behavioral or cognitive changes. This is going to be in that statement that you write that's on VA Form 21-4138 for personal statements, and the other Form 10-102, 110-112 for lay or support statements from family, friends, or coworkers. You want to link vascular issues to secondary service connections. For example, if you have other blood issues like hypertension and diabetes, or other neurocognitive issues like traumatic brain injury, you want to be able to link those as secondary service connections. Emphasize occupational and social impairment consistent with the 70 to 100% rating criteria that is found in 38 CFR 4.130. And we've talked about what that rating criteria is. Actually, we've talked about it from the 50% level all the way up to the 100% level with regard to cognitive decline, with regard to functional impairment, and with regard to the deficiency in the activities of daily living. So that's something that should be a refrain in all of the videos that we do. So if you have questions, more questions about that, go back and watch some of these videos, shoot me a comment underneath, and I will be glad to post right on the video the 70 to 100% rating criteria if you're confused about what that might be. If you are denied, file a supplemental claim, which is on the VA Form 20-TAC 0995 with new and relevant medical evidence. And finally, uh, the resources and the support are all the same. We are here at Royal Rock Counseling and Consulting to not only make sure you have everything to file your claim the right way the first time, but we are also very cognizant, and we try to stay up to date on all the changes in regulation, all of the changes in different VA news, so that you can stay up to date, so that you can continue to submit your claim the correct way. So download your free VA mental health claim decision tree. I've got that in the description of the video and in the first pinned comment. And please connect with us at Royal Rock Counseling and Consulting for more trauma-informed veteran support. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you want any more information about the subject of this series, be sure to check out the playlist right here. And remember, live royally and live well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.